Thanks for joining me today. So, this is side B of the DVD or CD that we're painting here. If you missed my first one, there is a link in the description of this video to part A and the final reveal of putting it all together. So, this is a three-part series, and this is the second part of that three-part series. So I'm just doing the same thing as I did in the first one. I'm using the grooves that are already in place on the CD, and I'm doing the white dots with my small dotting stylist. Um, and I'm just going around filling it in. So I started off, as I always do, top, bottom, left, right, and then I do the in between and then fill in between all of that. So I'm using the exact same colors as I did on part or on side A. So all of the brand names and the names of the paint are listed in the description below as well. So if you want to do something that's the same, the colors are listed. However, I encourage you to make this your own. You don't even have to follow the same pattern. These are fun, quick, easy things to do. Now, I did break this down into three different videos because I really wanted to focus on what I was doing on each one, just so that you could get an idea so that it wasn't all sort of crammed into one video. So, and I guess in reality, they are their own piece of art, even though it's on the same medium, the CD. It is different on both sides or on each side. Um, so in the first one that I did the white, and then I did sort of like a pinky purple and then a dark purple on the outside, and finished it off with this teal color. With this one, I'm going to do it opposite. So as you've been watching and while I've been chatting away, I've been putting dots on and using all of the letter colors of the patina. And what I did was, again, doing a gradation. Basically, it's the same style of pattern, but I'm using different colors. And I really wanted to show you what you can get out of it just by adding the smallest of different variations on it. And what you end up with it is totally different. It's just amazing. So this is why I wanted to show this to you as well. So what I did was with the patina, I started off with white, and then I added a little bit of the patina, and then added a little bit more patina and a little bit more patina for each circle that I did around. So I talked in my previous one about peaks and valleys, so that's the best way for me to describe and understand for myself where I'm putting these new dots. So they are one size bigger, but I consider the peaks of the dots to be at the very top of the dot, and then the valleys are where the two dots curve down towards each other. So if you can imagine them as circles rather than dots, that's where I'm putting my next row of dot is in between that valley where the previous two dots curved down towards each other. And this is how I keep everything in line. And I just keep going all the way around. And I don't need guidelines, nothing. It just goes with the flow and works out really nicely. So I'm using the tools that I got from the Dotting Center. If you're looking at getting your own set of tools, I highly recommend these. They fit so nice in my hands, and they provide a perfect dot every single time. I have never had an issue with them. The only issue that I can say that isn't really an issue was using the bigger sizes because I simply wasn't putting enough paint on them. So that's not anything to do with the tools themselves, it's operator error. So that would be me. So this is a good example here where I'm using the larger sized tool and I'm doing every other valley because these dots are so big and they didn't move up in size to coordinate with what I had already done. I had to do every other, and which is totally cool because I'm going to make these into petals. So it looks like a flower. And you'll see this at the end result when I get there. But I just continue to go around, and this paint that I'm using is self-leveling. So it is an outdoor indoor gloss acrylic enamel. However, it is water-based. So I believe that's why it self-levels. And I really like using this paint when I'm using the large dots because it does self-level and I don't have to worry about it. Um, and now I'm going in with a little bit of, oh, I think this one's called Petunia Purple from Apple Barrel. And I'm walking the dots. I'm just going all the way around one side and then I dot the center dot again and then continue to work my way down. So let me talk you through this one. So I do my first dot on the top and then I grab some more paint and I dot again and then I just dot around. And as I do, the dots get smaller as I go because there's less paint left on my tool. So then I go back and I reload and I redot that first dot again. So I get a consistency of dots on both sides and I walk my way down until I get to the end. And that's how you walk the dots. And I do this a couple of times using different colors. And I just walk around them, around the big dark purple dots. My biggest worry about this was because I'm painting on a black background that these purple dots would be lost. But when I circled them with the dots that I'm walking, it really framed them nicely and really made them stand out once they dried. Just keep in mind that when you're working with acrylic paints, they do sometimes dry darker than what they look like when they're wet. So be mindful of that. If you're unsure, do a test page. Check it out, paint your page black or use a black piece of construction paper and just dot. And that will give you a true evaluation if that paint color is going to be lost within the black background or if it's going to really pop. So I do that quite often. If you could see what my desk looks like, it's I have dots and stuff all over the place. So because I'm constantly trying new things, checking out different colors, different paints, so that I can bring them to you guys. I do the errors for you so that you don't have to. But should you decide that you want to do something on your own, which I 100% encourage you to do, just make sure you have a little tester and that should help out. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to be using two different tools to walk the dots on this one. So I'm using my larger dotting tool and putting a single dot of the Petunia purple mixed with some white um, onto the top of, we're going to call them petals now because that's what they're going to look like. And then I put one in between, so at the valley of the other dots from the row before it. This just gives me an eye point, I guess, or a visual so that I know where I want my dots to end and where I want them to start. And I'm going to be using a smaller tool, which will be coming up right now. Oh, I'm going to do this part first. So I'm going to, as the same as side A, I'm really going to incorporate all of the design together so there's very little dark spaces left and really makes it feel like it's connected. And that's what I was going for with this particular mandala. I really wanted it to be all connected and I'm using that same really light purple to go in between the patina color, or teal, or whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to use the names of the actual paint names, just so that you understand that's the paint that I'm using. But again, like I've said in many of my tutorials, is you don't have to do the same as me. These are just suggestions. I totally encourage you to reach out of your comfort level. Um, Try a different color combination you've never tried before. I tend to go to purple and different shades of purple and pinks because, well, purple's my favorite color. Um, but I have gone out of my comfort zone and I've reached for a bottle of yellow and some green and some really light blue. And let me tell you, sometimes when you reach for those combinations that you're not so comfortable with, they turn out amazing. And I think it's because you're paying a little bit more attention to it. Um, so I totally encourage you to reach for those paint sets that you have, reach for those paintbrushes, your dotting tools, find something to create a design on, and I'd love to see your final work. You can always go to my Facebook page and check them out there. I've got all sorts of other stuff that I've painted that I don't video, that are listed there, but I would love for you to post your artwork, because there's nothing better as a compliment to an artist to have someone else um, take the design and make it their own. It's the biggest compliment to me, and I would love to see it. So, as I had said before, here I am using one of the smaller dotting tools that I have, and I'm just walking the dots down, and having that bigger dot at the top, giving it that point, really makes these look like petals. And I love how this all comes together and looks really, really great. Now, what I do once this has completely dried, I do spray it with a satin finish of, it's like a lacquer, I guess, but it's in a spray form. So I take it outside. I give each side a quick spray. It's quick drying. I don't want to saturate it. I just want to protect it. So it is a UV protectant spray as well, so the colors shouldn't fade. At least it would take a lot longer than normal for the colors to fade. So stay tuned for the third and final installment of this trio. And remember, folks, life is what you make it. So get creative.